In the first age of our world, before mountains carried names and rivers carved their paths, something enormous walked across the newborn earth. Not shadows, not myths, beings of flesh and bone whose footsteps trembled through the ground like distant thunder. Most say they vanished before humans took their first breath, but the earth remembers them in ways we no longer recognize. Imagine standing on a barren cliff at dusk, wind cutting through the silence, when the fading light reveals an impossible silhouette rising from the valley below. Not a mountain, not a trick of the eye. Something shaped like a man, towering so high the clouds slide across its shoulders. Its skin marked like weathered stone, its hair tangled like ancient roots, its eyes dim embers that once burned with purpose. This is how the old stories describe the first giants, guardians of a land still waking from creation, creatures forged in a time when the world was raw and untamed. But their story does not begin with ruins or relics. It begins with their presence, vast, quiet, and watching over a world too wild for fragile creatures like us. They walked across molten plains, waded through newborn seas, and shaped the first valleys with their hands. The earth beneath them softened, folded, and rose again. And in those early nights, when the sky was still learning to hold its stars, their voices echoed like slow thunder rolling across the horizon. We were not meant to stand beside them. Our kind came later, small and curious, drawn to their towering forms with awe and fear. Early tribes spoke of them with reverence, leaving offerings at the base of cliffs shaped suspiciously like kneeling giants. Some stories claim the giants taught the first humans how to read the wind, how to track seasons, and how to understand the quiet language of the earth. Whether these tales are truth or longing, one thing is certain. Our ancestors believed they lived among beings far older and far wiser than themselves. As ages passed, the world shifted. Great storms carved cliffs into jagged walls, mountains rose through the places giants once walked, and the earth cooled into the shapes we know today. The giants felt these changes like wounds. Their great bodies ached with each trembling of the ground, each new tear in the land they once shaped with steady hands. Some wandered north, where the cold sharpened the air into a clarity only they understood. Others descended into deep chasms when the surface grew too fragile for their weight. But the greatest tragedy of the giants was not their size. It was their loneliness. Their numbers dwindled as the world reshaped itself, and the last of them roamed lands that no longer knew their footsteps. Forests hid their passing, mountains swallowed their echoes, and rivers washed away the prints they left behind. Humans, small, clever, rising in number, began carving their own stories while the giants faded into the background of a world that had outgrown them. Yet not all evidence vanished. Some valleys bear the shape of enormous fallen forms. Some ridges resemble rib cages half buried in stone. Some boulders show carvings far too high for human hands. And in the coldest corners of forgotten mountains, explorers still whisper of colossal silhouettes glimpsed through swirling mist, too still to be clouds, too massive to be men. The last age of giants ended not with a war or a disaster, but with a slow surrender to time. The world grew smaller around them, the air thinned, the mountains hardened, and the giants, once the sculptors of a newborn earth, became fossils of a fading age. But legends claim a few retreated into the deepest places. Ice caves sealed by eternal frost, caverns where molten rivers glow in the dark, and rifts so ancient no human has ever mapped them. If they still exist, they are hidden beneath the weight of aeons. Silent, watching, waiting for a world that can no longer imagine them. But every so often, a tremor rolls through a quiet valley with no earthquakes recorded, or a strange rhythmic sound echoes through mountain passes after midnight. Some say these are nothing more than natural forces. Others whisper that somewhere deep beneath our feet, a giant shifts in its sleep. And if that is true, then the age of giants has not ended. It merely dreams beneath us. If stories like this awaken your curiosity for ancient Earth, remain with us. Many more secrets rise from the shadows.